Yeah, it's nice to have you on the interview segment of Mid-On. This Wednesday morning, the 27th day in the month of May. So what started like a small beginning, everybody is now praying that perhaps it should not end on the 29th of May, but it has to end because there is a time for everything. That's talking about the 22nd National Sports Festival. It's been a wonderful journey since May 16, when the athletes from all the 36 states, including Abuja, and even the 38 states, the IJA, the invited junior athletes, started arriving at Belkuta State capital. So we saw what happened yesterday at the main bowl of the Moshood Kashimawu Olawale Abiola Sports Arena. My name is Suresh Odeke. I'm not alone on the program. I have my sporting friend who has also been following proceedings all the way from May 16 till last night, and of course will still be there till May 29, which is Thursday, when we shall have the closing ceremony. Good morning.
Good morning. It's good to be here. Big day yesterday at the MK Abiola Sports Arena, and our plan this morning was to bring to our viewer the Director General of the National Sports Commission, Chief Bukola Olopade, but unfortunately he lost his voice yesterday.
Yeah, it's understandable.
It was everywhere, everywhere trying to make sure that things were in order. You needed to be at the stadium yesterday. For those who were not at the stadium yesterday, they missed something, you know.
Not all of them, actually, because I got a call from a lot of people who called me that they wanted to know whether they can watch it live. I said, yeah, quickly navigate your way to Ogtv. And a lot of them also saw it on Ogtv. The broadcast was top-notch.
Yeah, top-notch. I mean, for the first time in a long while, I saw that stadium filled beyond capacity. Beyond, not just not filled to capacity, beyond capacity. We saw a lot of people outside, you know, at some point, you know, they came in, they were surging towards the pitch, and I think the organizers of the event did a good job by, you know, cordoning off the managing the crowd, you know, the tracks, you know, otherwise we'll have had, particularly when the final whistle was blown, the crowd wanted to, you know, rush onto the field to go celebrate with the players, but they were actually gagged, and so they couldn't do that. So it was an exciting moment for Ogun State again yesterday as far as this game is concerned. So this morning we'll be taking your calls. We'd like you to talk about the innovations and the standards that this festival has actually provided. We have a guest that's going to join us very, very soon, because we had the football final yesterday. We have a product of football at the National Sports Festival joining us very soon to discuss the football aspect of the festival. But for now,
all right. For now, we want to look at the entire 22nd NSF, that is National Sports Festival. What Ogun State has brought to the table this time around. What were the innovations that were also injected into the game that we need to raise the bar at the next edition? I understand it's coming up in
Enugu State.
So even our director is here, knows very well. So I think the topic should be on the screen.
Exactly.
The 22nd NSF, the innovations,
and the standards.
Before we start to
talk about. Okay, you could also join us. The line is open. Call us. Let's hear you. What do you have to say about this event, which is going to end on Thursday, that's tomorrow, and departure for all the athletes and officials will be on Friday. Talking about innovations, today this is the first time athletes and officials are going to be accommodated in one particular location. The last time I think we saw this was in 2004 when it was held in Abuja. You know, I doubt if any state will have the facility to have all athletes and officials in one location. And I think this is something that has worked well for Ogun State. In the past close to 2 weeks now, we've not heard one single story of an accident on that road, or of any serious glitch. You know, the athletes will move from, were moved from
what we call Games Village in
Ilishan, Babcock University to Abeokuta. And so it's been so you know, almost seamless experience.
Yeah, and in addition to that, one must give it to the governor of Ogun State, of course, who has also provided the needed environment for all these to be done smoothly and seamlessly. And what do I mean by that? You know, the entire Okemoson via Shagamu Interchange has been lit up, solar street light, the roads are motorable, then the vehicles were up and doing. So the athletes were being conveyed as that when due from the right place to the right, to the venue of their event without any complaint. We saw a lot of them. And of course, when you look at beyond that as well too, you also look at the provisions that were made not only for the athletes and the coaches, even for other guys that were around to be part of this event. And coming now to the MKO Abiola Sports Arena, you also discover that today that facility is top notch, is world class. A lot of people have commended the governor. Looking beyond the main bowl, when you go to the back of the main bowl, there are Olympic-sized swimming pools. We have the volleyball court, the lawn tennis court, Abula court, everything is there, and everything is just taking shape. I think, well, I don't know, Governor Dapabiodun has set a record that other governors that might want to take over the mantle of hosting this championship, this festival, will have to also think deeply and see how they can surpass this record.
Exactly. I think one of the takeaways from this event is something that I think should gladden the hearts of people of Ogun State. Ogun State hosted this event last in 2006. That was 19 years ago.
Sure.
Now, if a state could win the hosting right of the games in the space of 20 years, 20 years, it tells you that that state has something unique. And I think that's what because people were talking about late preparations, you know, before this festival. There were doubts and skepticism in town about whether Ogun State will host and will be able to host, or whether these games will not suffer another postponement, you know. But in the long run, Ogun State has pulled it off, you know. For me, the games have ended. Yeah, there will be some events today, especially at Baptist Boys High School, Abeokuta, where we're going to have finals of boxing events. You know, for me, generally, I was at the basketball court yesterday. Ogun State narrowly lost to Lagos. I couldn't watch the game to the end because I was feeling extremely bad about the fact that our boys were losing their points. You know, they had opportunity of winning the game, you know, by wide margin. But what happened? Lagos took over and they won the gold medal in basketball. I think Edo won, Edo or Delta won the female.
No, it was
Edo, yeah. female basketball. But the icing on the cake was the gold medal in football.
In football, yeah, that Ogun State won the 15. Team KWARA by 4 goals to 1. I mean, was there, and it was as if the match should not end, or we should just continue the festival until when everybody is tired. But unfortunately, there's a time frame for everything.
Okay, so this is what we saw. This is what we saw at the opening ceremonies, and I'm expectant that the closing ceremonies will be as beautiful as the opening ceremony.
What I thought, maybe, I don't know what happened. Initially, the finals of the football matches for both the male and female were to be played in Ikene.
Yes, they were played in Ikene.
Changed to Abeokuta.
Exactly, they were changed to Abeokuta.
Thinking we'll have put that on the closing day, and the closing day, that is Thursday, May 20, now which is tomorrow, so that will attract more. I mean, but I think more glamour.
Yeah, if you look at the schedule of the event, of the festival, the football finals were played the day they were planned to be played. The only thing that changed was the fact that the games were, you know, taken to Abeokuta. Okay. You know, Ikene saw the rest of the games. You know, saw the preliminary stages of the game, up to the knockout stage and all that. Now it came to Abeokuta. I don't know if we'll have seen the same crowd in Ikene, the crowd that we saw yesterday.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible because we have denied.
No, but you see, do you think people will have had the courage to travel from Abeokuta to Ikene?
No, not necessarily
to
from
the final.
Abeokuta.
Yeah.
The crowd from Abeokuta might be minimal. But what I'm trying to say is that we have denied those within Remo, as is true, those in Ikene, living in Shagamu, that will have also been part of that that glamour, that color that we saw yesterday in Abeokuta. But not well, they shouldn't.
Well, I think so far so good. The games have been spread, well enough. Some people have actually talked about the games, not taking place. I mean, that a particular region in the state didn't have the opportunity of
being part of the
showpiece. And I wonder why people
would think that way.
I really don't understand. Games of this nature are taken to places because of logistic reasons. Because if you have the games village in Ileshan, it will be difficult for you to take the games away from Abeokuta and Ikene, because of proximity. So it was so easy for the organizers to transport the officials and the athletes from Ileshan to Abeokuta than transport them from Ileshan to somewhere like Ilaro, which is a bit unwinding, So, but I think for people of Ilaro and some other parts of the state who didn't have a taste of this event, more are coming, and I think they should just wait for that time.
For that time, Then we must not also forget that the Alake Sports Center too is also,
of course,
it's another center being used for this ongoing gateway games. And if you get to Alake Sports Center today now, you won't believe what you are going to see, because the transformation is just too unimaginable. What the government has been able to put in place, those facilities and the likes of that. And yesterday I was online on social media with some people till about 12, and they were telling me how will Ogun State maintain all this.
I mean, look at the beauty, look at the ambience, look at the
this is the main bowl of the
the spectacle of the main bowl. Maintenance of this facility for me is in its regular use.
That is it.
Regular use for for engagements. Already 2 events are coming, 3 events actually. One is happening next Tuesday. That the Super Falcons of Nigeria are coming to play the Lionesses of Cameroon. They are playing in Remo, and they are also coming to Abeokuta. They are playing in Remo this Saturday, in Ikene this Saturday, and they are coming next Tuesday to Abeokuta for the and I expect Abeokuta fans to come out again in big numbers to watch the Super Falcons. Then later, I think in July, we are going to have the under-18, under-20 African Athletics Championship. That's also coming to Abeokuta. Then in September, the big one, that's the West African Football Union Nations Cup, under 17 Nations Cup. We're going to have West African countries coming, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Benin Republic, Togo. Ogun State hosted in 2010, 2011. And so it's coming back.
The venue will not be short of international events.
Oh, definitely.
The facilities have been provided are eye-catching enough that people can quickly want to leverage on that and say, okay, let us go and use. I won't be surprised if the next Super Eagles match will take place at this stadium. I won't be surprised.
Well, except for the fact that the Super Eagles players don't like to play on artificial grass. They love grass. They play in Europe. They play on grass in Europe. But then, if this was grass, I'm sure the next place for Eagles to play their game, because this is perhaps the newest. Because MK Abela Sports Arena has been made to look like a new stadium. It's an old stadium actually. I think it was built around 97.
It was built on
97, 98.
It was built under.
Was he a lot
No, under Mohamed Lawal.
Mohamed Lawal,
when he was military administrator in Ogun State. So that is far beyond.
But again, this is exactly what we see all over the world. Look at the picture of what this arena looks like. Anytime there's an event, and it tells you of the power of sports. We also have to look at the economic activities that came with this event. I was trying to analyze this somewhere. You cannot totally analyze it. You can't totally quantify it. Is it the number of those who came to run POS business, or those who came to sell recharge cards, sachet water, bottled water, food, you know, and more and more. You know, it just tells you the power of sport. And I saw excitement in the eyes of the governor yesterday. I think the governor is beginning to understand. If he didn't understand before, his perception about sports, you know, is beginning to change now. I saw excitement in his face, and I saw this conviction that I need to do more, you know. And in terms of needing to do more, we also like to challenge the governor to also come to Model Awa Stadium, Ashewa Abeokuta, and renovate that stadium.
We can't just forget that elite footballer who did so well
exactly.
Nigeria. I think he holds the record as perhaps the only African player to have been to 5 Nations Cup finals up to today. So we need to also give that place a touch and let people forever remember this man who donned the colors of this nation and did Ogun State very proud in the game that he knows how to enjoy best. And beyond that, also we're talking about maintenance. And while I was having a kind of chat with you yesterday, I said, peradventure, we can also look at our institutions in Ogun State. Ogun State has the highest concentration of our institutions in Nigeria today. The governor can throw that challenge to the authorities of all these institutions that annually you can be having a mini version of NUGA. Not necessarily all the institutions in Nigeria coming to Ogun.
Yes.
Yeah, we have not less than 15 to 20 institutions in Ogun State. All of them every year can come together, make use of these facilities, organize a competition. It might not be elaborate as the sports festival. The number of games.
Look at the governor. Look at the picture of the governor. Yeah. I was very close to the VIP yesterday, and I saw governor under tension. You know, at some point, Team KWARA took over. They took over the midfield. That was when Team Ogun was leading 3-1.
Sure.
And some of us were having this feeling. What's wrong with these guys and all of that? And when the fourth goal came, the governor was ecstatic, you know, and look at it, the deputy governor, the head of service, the secretary to the state government and all that, you know, very happy, you know, because it was the icing that Ogun State actually did yesterday. How is it going to feel for us to lose the gold medal?
Did they qualify for the final?
Well, you know, gold medal in football is called golden goal. Golden goal, you know, because it is the biggest gold medal.
Sure.
And that's how we saw the crowd yesterday. I think today, as we begin to wrap up, we need to also let our viewers know that all has not ended. Today, they should go to Baptist Boys High School for the finals of boxing. Sure. We're going to see like 8 or 9 finals today. And
at Alake Sports Center too, there will be finals of handball, both male and female categories, so people can sit strong the place to enjoy, even within the stadium, within the sports arena too.
Yeah, I think
1 or 2 events.
I think athletics should still some events, and then maybe I think swimming has ended. Swimming has ended.
Abula has ended.
Yeah,
and of course shooting has also ended at Cultural Center. Okay. At Junto Cultural Center there.
Okay, so the place to be again on tomorrow is this same arena for the closing ceremonies. We saw a spectacular opening ceremonies. Maybe we are going to see another spectacular event.
Actually, we can't afford to drop the ball. The standard has been raised, and so we need to sustain the standard and consolidate on it. I'm sure the governor, because of the excitement, the way he felt yesterday during the match, definitely will want to roll out more so that people will know that this is one festival that will still linger in the memory of people for a very long time to come. And we must give it to Chief Bukola Olopade. Coincidentally, he was commissioner for sports where we had Gateway Games 2006, and now DG, and they are at the bigger stage now. Big national sports.
I don't know where he gets his energy. He was everywhere yesterday, you know, jumping up and down and all that. Okay, this was the medals presentation.
Okay. To the football teams yesterday. No, that couldn't be the football team because that wasn't the dress code of governor last night. So I'm still wondering too where he derives or where he sources his energy from, and he's never tired. He's always willing to go all out to do things and make sure that things are done the right way.
Okay, you mean the DG?
The DG,
Yeah, the DG. Well, that's why they say that the DG is the engine room of the commission. You know, any commission, any sports commission, the DG is always the engine room. And I think Chief Olopade is just a perfect example of who a DG, or a DG should be.
And one will not be mistaken that if this is taken to a part of achievement of midterm assessment of President Bola Tinubu, because he has put the right peg in the right hole. And that is where we are seeing look at all the innovations that came on board the IJA. IJA
invited junior
athletes, and there was this e-sport that was even demonstrated. And if not for the last minute discussions and what have you, Robbie will have been part of this competition too, but definitely Robbie will be part of it.
There's another one we saw, flag football.
Flag football.
I mean, I don't know that one, but we saw it. Okay, let's quickly just take this break and serve you the interview we had with the governor. That was on Saturday when he came to watch the athletics finals, and after giving medals to winners, we actually caught up with him, and he had this to say. So we'll start with this interview. We'll come back and we'll wrap things up in the first segment of the program, this morning.
All I can say is that there's nothing more gratifying to have a vision, to work passionately on that vision, and to see that vision unfold before your very eyes. Our vision was to host a reference national sports festival. We worked passionately on that vision, and today you are all testimonies to the fact that this is indeed unarguably the best ever, best organized national sports festival in the history of the sports festival in Nigeria. And I'm very excited at the level of inclusivity. I've been to a few of the sporting events today. I've seen a few of the games and tournaments, and the level of enthusiasm, the level of participation, the level of excitement, what we've seen in terms of the multiplier effect in the economy, what we call the sports economy. I was telling the chairman, National Sports Festival, the National Sports Commission, that we must find a way to quantify the impact of this festival in the economy of Ogun State and Nigeria at large. I want to thank the chairman, the DG of the Sports Commission, the MOC, the LOC, particularly me, Dr. Kikutando, my commissioner for sports, and everyone else has worked hands in gloves with us to ensure the successful hosting of this reference sports festival. I believe that Ogun State has succeeded in bringing back the sports festival to ensure it has the importance that it did have in the past. Because during the week I was in Abuja, and many were telling me, we didn't even realize that they still host sports festival in Nigeria. But what Ogun State has done is to bring it back into limelight. For us in Ogun State, this has provided a platform for us to show the world that we're not just the industrial capital of Nigeria, but we're the gateway to excellence.
All right, the governor there, that was last Saturday at the main bowl of the MK Abiola Sports Arena. That was during some of the finals of the athletics event of this festival, and the governor said something that actually, got my attention. He spoke about the need for us to quantify the the gains or the impact of these games on the economy. I think that's one of the problems we have in this country. We don't draw statistics of the impact of sports on the economy, and so that's why we feel that sports is just a recreation. We don't really bother so much about it. But talking about football at this festival, we saw the finals yesterday. We have a product of sports festival on our program this morning. Somebody that played up to international level. It was at the Junior World Cup in 1983. He played for Abiola Babes. He played for Leventis United, and it was a killer in quotes when it comes to. He was the defender. We call him Gaddafi. How did you see here?
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning, Sydney.
Yeah, good morning.
Where did you get the name Gaddafi?
well, I'm sure it must have come from journalists, sports journalists, because we have this way of giving our players. Look at Shebodebami, they will call him mathematical Odebami.
Exactly.
Chuku was also given one.
Yes.
Mr. Shofuli, Dean of Defense, and the likes of that. So we have a way of giving our players nicknames that will stick to them.
So we have Gaddafi.
So how did you feel when you saw the football final yesterday? What went through you, particularly because you are a product of National Sports Festival before you now graduated to play Junior World Cup for Nigeria, played for club size in Nigeria as well too. So
senior national team.
Senior national team as well.
Nations Cup in 1994. Excited, and one thing is that, I will tell you this, I think I'm very, very happy, to have been part of the scene yesterday. Look at the stadium, jam-packed. And I personally think that, last Thursday when I was on the show, I did mention this, that, at that time, when I heard that, no football will be played in Abeokuta, all the matches are Jebu and I wasn't really happy because we all know Abeokuta is the place where I went.
The home of football.
Exactly, it's Abeokuta. So I said, well, that's a mistake. My own personal advice, was, and I said it on the air. I said, well, I think football should be brought back, because you see, and look at the impact. Look at what happened yesterday. Look at the stadium jam-packed, and look at people how they are moving in, going out and in, and even outside the stadium, people who are there are even more than those who are in the stadium, and the stadium is already jam-packed already. So I think that is the power of football. A whole lot of people don't know power of football. Too much, and it shows yesterday.
Okay, let's begin to look at the facilities, particularly the main bowl of the MKO Sports Arena. It is spectacle to behold. A lot of people have said, where did the governor get all this from? Of course, it's expected that when you want to host the first because you are hosting the entire nation. Yeah. So what will be your total submission here concerning the facilities? Somebody has said this facility, particularly the main bowl, has to be regularly maintained. It must be put to use all the time so that the facility will not decay.
Thank you very much. The same, I think I will throw along that line. One problem that I know we have in this country is when you talk about maintenance. Maintenance culture is not always there and it's not good. When you go to National Stadium now, look at the stadium, you won't believe this National Stadium, where all international players go there and play, where Nigerians play all the matches. You can't believe this. Why is it abandoned? If you go to most stadiums, at times when I come to Abeokuta and look at Ashero Stadium, I feel sad. That was the stadium who made, we want to talk about football in Ogun State or even Nigeria. Ashero Stadium, I think, has done well, and it should not be like that. So I think they should start looking into all this. This type of infrastructure that is on the ground now, I think number one, I give the government, kudos, for doing that, but there's still more to be done. When you look at it well, we still have, if this place have, when you're talking about hostels, there's space here that put hostels there. The state will be making money. Teams will come and come there and go. And it will be an avenue for even national team to say, I want to go to Abeokuta and camp, because there is camp there. Look at, there's space that they can put there. And So those are some of the things I will let them know, because we have them on ground now. Left for the government, to take advantage of this thing and do the needful. And the needful is put houses there, put camps there, put training pitches. Teams will come, national team of everywhere will even come. We love to come and play here. So I think we still have jobs.
So that we don't lose sight of why we brought you here this morning. Contributions of Sports Festival to football development. Tell us, let's go down memory lane. The players who went on, players in your class, who went on to play for the Flying Eagles, yes, and for the national team, the Green Eagles, and all of that, who were products of the sports festival. How many of them can you actually remember now? And how was the story then for you?
Thank you. I think that's a beautiful question that I would love to answer any time of day, because looking at the stadium yesterday brought all the old memories back, and I will tell you this. The National Sports Festival is a place where talent will be discovered. And if we don't keep doing what we're doing now, that is what has been happening in the past. Because in my own set, I can tell you this: if not for National Sports Festival, Nigeria probably, I don't know if we will qualify in that 83 set, no, because the players were picked from Oluyole 79, Bendel 81. So when we were picked, Bendel 81 National Sports Festival, the coaches came there. I remember seeing a Dumizi I never knew, nobody knows him. The man went around and picked players. I remember that time I captained Lagos State, and he picked 9 from Lagos, picked from Ogun State, people like Dendia, Kiloton and others. All about the Chibuzo from Imo. So this National Sports Festival, it's a place where talent will be discovered, and it has always been doing that. And that is why when 83, when we were picked from the National Sports Festival in Edo, it was Edo 81, for the first time Nigeria qualified for the FIFA tournament. That was the first time Nigeria will raise its flag in any FIFA tournament. And I remember vividly that team. When you talk about from Wilfred Agbonovare from Edo Polo Grammar School, we have Ali Jeje from Jos Secondary School, we have Uti Amechi from CKC Onitsha, Paulo Koko from St. Finbar's College, Akoka in Lagos, Taji Disu from Baptist Academy in Lagos, we have Wahabe Deshino from, I think, Agumbi Ade Grammar School. Then we have Tyler Okorowata from St. Gabriel's College, Femi Odukoni from CMS Grammar School, Chibuzo Ilegbo from CKC Onitsha, Humphrey Edobo from Edopolo. Then we have the like of late Christopher Anigala from St. Finbar's College. We have Tyler Samson Siasia from Finbar's College. We have a whole lot of them like that. And it was from Principal's Cup to the National Sports Festival. So abandoning a grassroots program, is one of the things that have affected our football.
So yesterday you'll have been disappointed if you didn't see any coach, the coach of, for instance, Gateway United Football Club of Ogun State should have been at the stadium yesterday, or Remo Stars, or Shooting Stars. Not only yesterday, in fact in this festival. To look for talents, because the football at the sports festival does not make any meaning if these players don't graduate to play for our club sides, isn't it?
It is. That's what happened during our own time. Just what you just said now is what happened. And if all the coaches, I don't know, that is where you can pick players. That's why you go around and pick. But one unfortunate thing that is happening now, compared to when we were playing, was that you don't have to know any coach. You don't have to have any godfather. You don't have to be able to. The coaches will go there and pick players. They pick players based on their skills. They don't pick players based on who they know. It is who they know now, not what they know. In our own time, it was what the players know.
What can you play?
Exactly, would bring you into the team. The Dumizi doesn't know nobody. He picked. We lost that match that he came from. I think it was against Kano. We played everything, Lagos, and at the end of the day, it made a picked only 2 from Kano, picked 9 from Lagos.
Despite losing.
Despite losing. That's what I'm saying. So, and at the same time, picked Dendia Kiloton and this thing from Ogun State and all that. That was how we went to the camp in Ibadan. And he doesn't know anybody, he doesn't care. He's an Igbo man who grew up in Kaduna, just come, he wants to play. So, but I don't know if we still have those coaches. I believe we have them, but not too much like before. Before, that is it. Coaches want to win. They want to, their name is at stake. And we, to the players, want to do that. We want to go there and play. Because at that time, it was the jersey. You want to play for your state. You want to play for the country. You want to drives you
the pride
to your side. That pride.
Now analyze the game of yesterday for us, Gaddafi. The scoreline. Did the scoreline reflect the
performance of the two teams?
Yeah, the tempo of the game. Because I believe that the KWARA team was also gave a good account of themselves yesterday.
Yeah. That's football. You know, football. At times it happens. At times you see better sides even losing. Yeah. You know, but one thing is that when you want to talk about yesterday's game, believe me, it was a good final. But I must say this: the Ogun State boys played well. I never thought they were that good, and that's exactly why it's good they brought them here for people to see. You know, if they have played that final wherever they want to play before, I don't know how many people will go there and go and watch it. But the thing is that Ogun State team yesterday, that team, I think we have some big national players among them. We have quality players, because the way they play yesterday, they seem they've been playing together for some time and they've known each other very well. So, and the same thing happened to us in that 83, because before we were invited from the festival like this, we played for Youth Fund. Youth Fund will come and pick players during secondary school and go to Sweden, take us to Sweden, go and play. So from the thing that they were Flying Eagles now, that coach, Edumeze 83, now benefited from this, because we've been together for some time, at least for 2 years, when I was in secondary school, and the likes of Paul Okoku, Femi Olukoko were in school too. So they picked them, Youth Fund picked them. We went to Dallas to go play Dallas Cup. We went to Sweden to play the Sweden, was it Gotia Cup? So we went to Sweden to play Gotia Cup. Norway to play in the Norwegian Cup. Then Denmark to play in the Dallas Cup. And the last one was when we went to Brazil to play in the Brazilian State Cup. So when we came back, it was a national sports festival.
I suggest to you, TJ, that peradventure there are things we are not doing right now that we need to revisit, because talents also will have been discovered from this festival. Like Biodo asked you, he wondered why, if some local coaches, let me put it that way, coaches of Gateway United Area Monsters were there to actually spot one or two talents. So what do you think we need to do to bring back this strategy that you talked about, that we need to fall back on Youth Fund, principals called draw our talent, rather than relying on those that will have to come all the way from Europe all the time to play just for about 3-4 days, and when they get to the pitch, they won't deliver the result.
Thank you very much. I think we need to go back to grassroots. Number one, I've seen that they've abandoned grassroots. Youth Fund, during our own time, may God continue to even bless Chief MK Abiola, may his soul continue to rest in perfect peace. If Youth Fund goes on and pick players, because that is the job of Youth Fund, then they were developing youth talents, picking players during secondary school game and pick talent. Chief MK Abiola always come to rescue. And this is the job of the national, the federal government or whatever it is, because Youth Fund will go there and put proposal and whatever. But at the end of the day, when that thing, it's Chief Abiola and one other one, Moru, something from Kano or whatever, but it is Chief Abiola that was sponsoring Youth Fund. And at the end of the day, look at what then national Flying Eagles now benefited from that and pick us. So, and we've been together. If you have been together, I think we have to go back and revisit youth program. Number one, all these secondary school games should be encouraged. And now that one goes to the government, either state government or federal government. They need to look into the secondary school games, all these tertiary games, all these youth program, bring them back. And just because if you don't have a solid foundation, how can you have a good building on it? There is no way. You know, your foundation must be solid. And that was what was happening before, because all administrators at then have passion, love to develop the game and to develop the youth. And they do it, supporting it with everything. And at the end of the day, look at what happened. We qualified Nigeria to go and play in that. So I think they need to revisit that. Help Youth Fund. Any Youth Fund is still up to today. Today they're still there. I think now they are in Kano or Kaduna doing tournament. But one thing I know is that all the states, did not give them the type of support they were getting before to bring these players together. So I think we need to.
Did some players stand out for you yesterday? Did you actually notice any talent, outstanding talent yesterday? We saw the goal of Emmanuel, the guy that scored, I think, was it the last goal? Was it the last goal? Yeah, I can't remember. It was, you know, did you?
Among those guys who played yesterday.
Yeah, is it?
Yes.
Not the guy that mesmerized the defense.
Yeah.
Guys, the way they play, it seems as if they have been together for a while. They know each other very well. And that this match brought my memory back to '83.
This is the guy I'm talking about.
Wow.
Look at this.
Very
look at
good
this.
player. Look at
this.
him.
He took the defender to the cleaners completely.
That's what I'm saying. These are the type of players who probably would be, give them the opportunity to go to the national team, the state team, or whatever. But now, just as I said before, I don't know, and I know it is true. They don't like people tell them the truth, but this thing has been abandoned. People now go to national camp based on who you know, not what you know. It has to be good skills, have to put you in the team. So, but these guys, we have a lot of national players among the Ogun State boys who played yesterday that I saw. This guy played wonderfully well.
Will that not also put you in a tight corner that the Under-17 World Cup will soon start very soon, I mean by October or thereabout, and Africa is having about 6 representatives. Unfortunately, Nigeria is not there. And we have all these talents in Nigeria. These are just ones that were exposed yesterday. So many of them are still there that they couldn't have the opportunity to be part of this Team Ogun or Team KWARA and the likes of that. So is that not, as that not also tells you that something is wrong? That Nigeria that won the maiden edition of Under-17 World Cup, unfortunately, will not be in this part, even after FIFA has extended the slot to 6.
Thank you very much. Just as we're saying, there is problem, there's big problem, and the number one problem is, I won't lie to you, most of the coaches now, most of the people who go around and pick those players love money than the developmental program. No more developmental programs so much, and the coaches, when they go there, it's all about money now. It's all about money. You see coach taking money from players and dropping the good one. You see coach inviting a player who is not as good as him and bringing her because he has been tipped. They have given him something. So all those things are the one, spoiling out, spoiling the developmental program on this country. So I think we should now go back there and start fighting hard on these coaches. Go there, do the right thing. Once you are caught doing this, you'll be sacked. You take this, in our own time. For God's sake, you don't have to. The coach, we don't know anybody. The coach doesn't know anybody. It is your skills that will put you there. So I think that one is number one. The love of money has taken deep down in either administrators or coaches in this country now. That it makes the game to start diagnosing. So I think something has to be done about that. Integrity matters a lot, and these coaches know that. And we have talent. I'm telling you, we have talent in this country. And until they start doing the right thing, we'll still be in the same position. Okay,
well, yesterday, after the game and after presenting medals to winners, the governor of the state, Prince Abiodun, again spoke to journalists. I don't know the number of times, I can't even count the number of times that the governor has spoken to sports journalists in recent days. So let's take the interview of the governor yesterday with journalists after presentation of medals to Team Ogun, Team KWARA, and of course, was it Team Delta that won the female version of the event? So let's take the interview.
Thank you very much. Are you too? Yes.
So talk to us. How do you feel seeing the crowd that came here today to witness the Ogtv 24 National Sports Club?
Quite honestly, words are not enough to describe the depth of my joy today. And my joy is coming from different dimensions, not just because Team Ogun won, because after all, the spirit behind this event, the National Sports Festival, is not just about winning, but about the unity of Nigeria, about teaching and mentoring our youth, about ensuring that we have and sustain an indivisible Nigeria, either by religion or by tribe or by ethnic, tendencies. So today, coming into the stadium, this is a 10,000 seater capacity stadium, and seeing every seat occupied just because Team Ogun and Team KWARA are playing, there was no better sense of fulfillment in my heart that we have managed to achieve our objective, which is reigniting the original spirit of the National Sports Festival. You know, I was in Abuja sometime last week, and someone said to me, you know, I can't remember the last time I watched National Sports Festival. I didn't even know it existed anymore until you hosted it. And that was exactly what we set out to achieve. We wanted to ensure that this sports festival occupies its pride of place. It is our own local Olympics.
Our own local Olympics coming from the governor, Prince Dapo. Certainly, which other event looks like Olympics in Nigeria than the National Sports Festival? As a coasting home gradually, we can't also run away from the fact that in sports generally, you need to put the right people in the right places to run things for you. And I think that's because before you came in, we actually commended the DG of the National Sports Commission. You worked with him so many times. You were one time team manager of Gateway United FC, and it was under you that Gateway actually qualified for the Premier League in 2003. What do you have to say about that part of sports? Square peg in square hole.
Thank you very much, George. That's a fantastic one. You know, in fact, that is number one problem we have now. And I will tell you, when you put tailor to go and do mechanic job, I don't know how you want to do it. You want to put mechanic to go and be tailor, to do and do tailor job, I don't know. So putting square peg in a round hole is not going to work. And that is exactly what has been happening, especially in sports. Because they believe anybody can just go there when it's in sports, go there. It's all about the money. This one will make money, they want to make money, this and. But not until when you start, when you look at the administrators, look at the type of administrators we have when we are playing. I'm telling you, it's not that, you know, maybe any whatever is not going to, but at that time, you will do the right thing, you do the needful, you will make sure the players get their money on time, the coaches get whatever they need to make sure this team does well. It's unfortunate for the coaches. I can never be a coach anyway. One thing I realize about our coaches in Nigeria or in Africa is that once there's a problem in a team, the coach gets sacked first. Whereas the administrators themselves, who are supposed to supply the coaches with what they need to make that team do well, they didn't give them. They won't give them. They want to make money. This one want to do this, they want to do that. At the end of the day, the coaches will be sacked. That is the coach. So we have to start doing that. That is the number one problem in Nigeria. They put the wrong person to go and do the wrong job. So putting square peg in a round hole is not going to work. Putting square peg in round hole is not going to work.
When you make a tailor to do the job of a mechanic, your car will over you.
From the statements that we saw there, which governor exhibited and the live, all of them, can we boldly say that Paraventure Ogun should be hosting this thing within 13 years? Maybe the governor plays that Kabari should waste one before he leaves.
Enugu is waiting. Enugu is waiting to take over the betting.
But we will still continue
so in some way, apart from football, you must have seen one or two other events at the National Sports Festival, the ongoing one. How do you rate?
Yeah, in summary,
they rate the entire festival the hosting rights, everything, the way that Ogun State has been able to put in place?
No, honestly speaking, we're not going to take this away from Ogun State. Ogun State have done well. For what I saw yesterday, what I saw since I came, I've been here for 1 week to make sure and the players too, that's when I have opportunity, I talk, just like yesterday, make sure I talk to them, whatever I can tell the players, hey, I did. And one of the coaches was my teammate in Abiola base, or in Abiola, that's Ogtv. Yeah. So and I advised him to, and at the end of the day, they did well. But that's what I'm saying. If you put, one disappointment that I got was that, sitting down, looking at, because I know I've played in 2 national sports festivals, and I've played most of my football in Ogun State. Ogun State, Lagos, Ogun State, Lagos. But Ogun State when I played in Ogun State, that was the time, I would tell you that really made me. Because Abiola Babes, who played in 4 consecutive FA Cup finals, and at the end of the day, Ogun State for the first time, when they win that Challenge Cup, I was the one who played the last penalty kick that gave Ogun State that in 85. And I remember Biodu and I came there. It was a long time ago. From there, I just went to Biodu and they are there. So, hey, we thank God for everything.
We need to go.
Yes.
Before that, Rafiu Adegbe, he was number 2 to William KWARA at Chile 7.
Exactly.
So,
okay.
We need to wrap up.
We need to wrap up.
Yes. Time is not only on our side. I want to thank you so much. That you did this ex international. One can boldly say that you graduated from the grassroots and to international stage. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us, particularly on this 22nd National Sports Festival, which we will wrap up on May 29th. Coincidentally, the date the governor will be celebrating his birthday. That's governor of the state. So,
bye for now. We'll catch you again on Friday.